What's up, YouTube? I figured I'd give you a terrible clip of that old opening theme song for the Iron Man cartoon. But here is my second attempt at my first review of my first Hot Toys figure. It's my second attempt because it turns out during the first try I forgot so many things that I needed to do that I had to do it again. So, like I said, this is my first Hot Toys figure ever, the Iron Man Mark 45, or sometimes when I read it in my head I say, what's the Mark XLV? But I do know what that means in reality. So, start off with the box. I'll admit, I'm a sucker for judging a book by its cover. I do it a lot. And when I saw this, I figured it was awesome immediately because of the box. And I wasn't disappointed when I opened it. No one really wants to do it, but one of the first things you should do is actually check out the directions. Mine's unopened because I had to exchange mine because my first one was messed up. Excuse me. So I did read them. Most of it seems pretty straightforward, but there are a few things you should read. Some things I'll go over in the review. One of my favorite things in the directions is they say you should try to avoid dropping it because it might break, because it's heavy and delicate. So, one of the first things I'll do, I'll get out of the way before we get to the figure, are the accessories. You have blaster hands. They can look like you're blasting, or you can do the hover mode once you get it on the flight stand. While you have that, if you want to do a flying pose or a hovering pose, you can put these guys in the peg holes of the feet. So it looks like he's flopped. He's gone. He's not coming back. He's back. And if you hear something in the background, that's why. This is called The Last Dragon Reviews. If you don't watch Game of Thrones or read, The Last Dragon was Rhaegar Targaryen. And that's my dog's name. Well, his name's just Rhaegar. But you'll see him eventually, I'm sure. Anyway, next, fists for fighting pose, angry poses. And you have the hand I forgot to pull out. Nope, there it is. You get a set of articulated hands, which I like to use a lot when I'm just setting it up, because it looks pretty cool. And there's a good range of motion on them as well. And when you light it up, which I'll go over later, you can actually see the arc reactor lights, or blaster lights, whatever you want to call it. Then you have the blasting hand without the little blasters, which is also really good for poses because you can see the light when you turn it on, which we'll go over. You get the battle damage chest piece, which I actually prefer usually. Comes off like this pretty easily. And while we have this off, I'll show you the detail underneath that chest piece. They did a pretty good job there. Just pop on the other chest piece like that. Sometimes it falls off when you're moving the arms. If you hit it, a little bit of rub section there, it comes off, but it generally stays on pretty well. And you have these lasers, which you've seen in many movies. I don't actually think he used these when he had the Mark 45 on. Oh, yeah, he did. When he was cutting a hole in the bottom of Strakovia. Guess it wouldn't be right if he uses lasers. they just pop on like this. It looks pretty cool. It's kind of weird because, well, I don't know what you'd expect. It's not going to go on forever. But you can do some neat positions like that. There's one on each arm. You also get this little tool, which is very helpful. When you get to the batteries, you'll need this, because it's terrible getting in some of the batteries. It's a task. It took me, excuse me, probably a good half hour to get all the batteries in, because they kept popping out. You also get a little screwdriver, which I didn't use. I used a smaller screwdriver of my own, because there's no way to grip this thing, because it's about that big. And I don't even have giant hands, and I can barely get a hold of it. Now you have a stand. And you get this fallen Ultron bot, which, I don't know how it is to tell, but it's fairly big. His head's probably bigger than Iron Man's. They look pretty small in the movie. He moves around a little bit, but he's dead. Oop, here he is in comparison to Captain, who was also pretty big. Robert Downey Jr. is not a big guy, but I'll just do this while I have him out before we get to the stand. There's a size comparison with Cap. I feel like he should be a little bit bigger, while Robert Downey Jr. isn't that tall. He isn't a giant suit. I know Captain's a big guy, but I feel like he should be a little bit bigger. Back to the stand, sorry. A little scatterbrained on my first review. It has this posable flight stand, peg, holder, whatever you want to call it, which I use the most. And it also has a standard rod stand that just has a crotch cradle, but you can slide down anywhere you want to go, pretty much. I like this one. I feel like it holds on to him better. It's less scary when it's up on my shelf, and I'm worried it's going to fall over for some random reason. I don't know why it would, but, you know, you worry about things. This was pretty much intended to lay down there. You can sit so Iron Man's on top of him, or whatever you want to do. I don't even use this thing, honestly. I only brought it out of the box for the review, and I'm too lazy to open the box back up to put it back in, so he's probably going to stay out now. Alright. Let's get the boring stuff out of the way. Batteries. They were terrible to put in. The arm one's not so bad, because there's only the smaller ones go in the arms, so it wasn't that hard to fit in. Take these off. Open up a screw on each forearm. And just pop them in. Now the head for the eyes in the arc reactor, they were the worst getting in. The headpiece comes off pretty easily. It's magnetic, I'm pretty sure, because it slides in. But you just pull that out. Oh, I don't even know if you can see that. Just slides out like that into the grooves. That got stripped on my last one. I didn't have another screwdriver, and that little tiny screwdriver could not, they had it torqued in so tight for some reason. This one came out like it was nothing, so, but the last one I got, it got stripped, and I couldn't get the screw out. The switch is also up there, by the way. We'll get to the lights in a second. For the chest / arc reactor, here's this little tool. It's actually useful sometimes. Not today, it isn't, of course. There we go. These were the most difficult ones to get in, period. I said it took me a half hour. Probably took me 15 minutes just on this part. They just kept popping in and out. There's the on and off button for that. And while we have this out, we'll light them up real quick so you can see. Hold on, the helmet back there. Switch the hand so you can actually see the lights. Well, you can see it on this hand too. It's tedious, but it's not difficult to light them up, so. There he is, lit up. And I'll turn the lights off for a sec so you can see. Yep, he looks pretty awesome lit up. These are actually really bright. Yeah. But he doesn't have a hand like that. There's his arc reactor. It's hard to show the detail in the dark, but I want you to be... It looks pretty good lit up. Once you get it or you see it in person, you'll be able to see the smaller details they put in there. I'm going to turn him off real quick, because these batteries don't last forever. And we're back. All lights are off. Put this other hand on. So you can see some poses later that he looks pretty cool in. So, I'll start with articulation. Up here. This is his head. Goes pretty far. You can kind of lurch forward and down like that. Or you can stand straight up. Like that. You also can look up. Like I said before in my last video, which got deleted because it sucked. Some people complain about this neck gap here for when he's looking up. I don't know how the people who complain about it expect the designers to solve that issue, because I don't think there would be a way to have him look up without having that neck gap. So I prefer the neck gap over not being able to move his head up personally. Now we'll go to the arms. I find a lot when I push his arm back, I open up these flaps constantly. But I mean, I haven't really had any paint rub issues, so. Plus, he's got a lot of wear on him by design. It's probably hard to see. But, you know, it is hard to see. They made him look like Iron Man really would, so. You know, he's not going to be able to do what he does and look perfect all the time. But back to the arms. You can do pretty much anything you want that you can do with your own arms, honestly. Push them back. Full range of motion from shoulder pivot. You can go up pretty far. These move up like that. They're spring loaded. So you can do that. You can go almost out. All the way out, pretty much. Shoulders actually pop out a little bit too, so you can get some further motion in it, so you can do things like this. What he did in the first movie a lot when he was playing with his new gloves. looks pretty cool like that, I think. That's probably how I leave him the most, honestly, when he's on my shelf. Didn't snap that back in before. Now it should be in. Now we get to the elbows. As you saw when I was moving him, he's got pretty good elbow motion. It's double jointed, I think that's the term. Because it comes up to about there, just for the normal elbow. And then it comes up a little bit further, because it pivots on the forearm, where the forearm meets the elbow. When you want to push his arms back, I pull it out a little bit, so that way you don't constantly have those flaps opening, like I always forget to do. Wrists, obviously, go pretty much everywhere. You hear that heavy breathing? That's Rhaegar. Rhaegar, speak! Good boy. Sorry if anyone had their headphones on. I don't know how loud that really is. Now we'll go to the back. You got his flaps. Pretty sure these help him pump the brakes. The things that open all the time on me. Now I can't get open for the video. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. These all open up like that. I hardly ever have them open, honestly, except when they open accidentally. Did the arms. Let's move down to the torso or abdomen. No ab crunch there, but that's why they put extra joints in there. It's got this flap here, so you don't scratch up your ab. Would you be quiet? He probably wants to be in the video. I'll show you guys in a sec. So you can do some pretty good sit-ups like that. I mean, I wouldn't do sit-ups if I was Iron Man, but that's his ab crunch. Pretty good. It's got a fair pivoting range of motion too. And then just snap him back down like that. You want to make sure it's all back in the seams too, like that. Moving further down to the legs. Bam! Yeah, he can dance. These move up like that. So again, less paint rub and a better range of motion. Forward. Out to the side. And back. That's about as far back as you can go. But I don't know how far back you really need his leg to go. And now I'll go to the knee. The knee is also double jointed. It splits up into these pieces, so you can get a better range of motion. That. Okay. I didn't actually know it went back that far. It scared me a little bit. What if that's supposed to be loose? I don't know, but it's staying in. But that's how far he can get his leg back. Pretty good. I don't think I can get my leg back that far. Yeah, you can do a lot with it. You can get him into great poses with his legs, honestly. I know it's hard to see down there. You can actually get him into a sitting pose relatively well. I had him sitting on my iron throne that I made, but had some sort of strange chemical reaction with the clay and the sealer. Now it's sticky, so I can't sit him on it anymore unless I get a bunch of cling wrap. But His legs actually drop down a bit further with his, I don't know what to call it, his butt joint. As you can see, you can pull down. This will be a better way to show it while he's straight. It'll make more sense when you sit him down, but it's easier to see. You push this button back here, and its bottom torso drops out like that. I imagine they made it for easier sitting poses, or when he's bent over, I don't know. But when you want to get him back in, see this piece right here? Just want to make sure that's seamed up back in there, like that. You hear a click and you won't be able to see that. That's when you know it's back in. Ankles / feet. These prevent him from falling forward, unlike my War Machine. These pieces right here, whose toes just, when he stands up, his toes just bend and he just slowly lurches forward. So that's why he's pretty much forever stuck on his stand permanently. But when you want his feet to move forward, you just lift these pieces up, and it helps give you some ankle movement and toe movement right there. Back here. You can go this way a little bit, just push them back. And when you want to lock his ankles back up, you just slide these pieces back into place. So right into the seams. That way you know he'll stand stronger and he won't slip. That's pretty much everything for him. I'm sure there's stuff I forgot actually, but this is the most expensive collectible figure like this I've ever bought, and it's one of the first times I'd probably say a collectible is worth the cost. Because after I got sorry, that's Rhaegar being an idiot. After I got this, I thought I'd have a little bit of buyer's remorse, and I did initially, because he's pretty expensive for a figure. But the amount of detail and work they put into this, I'd say it's actually priced pretty accurately. My friend's a toy designer, and he was impressed by this. He's also an artist, so almost nothing like this impresses him. So that was a good sign, I believe. He's still available on Sideshow Collectibles. I believe he's about $354.99 or $349.99. I'll put the link in the video so you can check him out. If you're looking to get into Hot Toys, or you want to add to your Iron Man collection, I would suggest getting him, because it's probably the best suit out right now for him, I believe. The Mark 46 looks pretty cool. It's got a few more lights, but this is my favorite suit so far, I think. I really like it. There he goes. My next review will probably be Captain America from Civil War. You guys know Iron Man won that fight, right? He definitely won. Well, he could have won, but he chose it. He decided not to annihilate Cap once he got him down. There's one last size comparison you can check out. Cap is pretty tall compared to Iron Man, honestly. I guess that's how it's supposed to be. I never read Marvel Comics. I was a DC comic fan. I'll admit, for the movies, I'm a bandwagon Marvel person. But now, for the last segment of the video. Alright, here's the beast. This is Rhaegar. He just turned 2 September 21st. Now this is why it's called Rhaegar's Reviews, because he's going to decide who wins. Rhaegar, you want Iron Man? Iron Man? Or do you want Ball? Iron Man, Ball. What's it going to be? Get one. Get it. Pick. Free. Oh, he smelled Iron Man. Get one. It looks like he's choosing nothing. Well, he sat down on the side of Ball. I think he picked Ball. So the fact that he actually smelled Iron Man, I think Rhaegar gave it a 5 out of 10. Ball, 10 out of 10. You can get one of them, buddy. I don't know what I would do if he actually tried to take Iron Man, and now I'm thinking about it. But I don't think he has any interest in it. Rhaegar, you want your ball? Get it! Oh! He just punched Iron Man with his ball. Alright, Rhaegar. Well, thanks for watching. Sorry, this video took a lot longer than I thought it would. I'm pretty slow, bit scatterbrained with it. What are you doing for the camera? What are you doing? So, my next review will probably be Captain America. I pre-ordered Black Panther, so we'll have him up pretty soon. And next year, I have Hulkbuster on order, so please subscribe and like, and come back for more. Black Panther and Hulkbuster will be up eventually, so, and Rhaegar will always be here. Hopefully he never actually tries to take the figure. Usually he goes for the ball immediately, so I thought this would work better. Thanks, guys.